All right, so are you ready to dive into this Grand Theft Auto the Sixth stuff?
Oh, yeah, bring it on.
I mean, you sent me a ton of research articles, rumors, fan theories.
It's just so much to unpack.
It's insane.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got Vice City, a new protagonist.
Don't forget that massive leak.
Right, the leak. Okay, so first things first, Vice City.
I'm still wrapping my head around it. I mean, we haven't seen it as the main setting since, Vice City Stories? Back in 2006?
Yeah, it's like Rockstar's tapping into that whole nostalgia thing that's going on.
Like every other game is getting a remake or a remaster these days.
But with GTA Zissy, it's not just a copy and paste job. They've created this whole new fictional state.
Leonida, right. Inspired by Florida.
Beaches and neon lights, all that.
You know, I'm already picturing those Florida Man headlines popping up in the game.
Oh, there've got to be some Florida Man Easter eggs in there.
For sure. And speaking of new stuff, what about GTA's first female protagonist since GTA 3?
It's about time.
Right.
Seriously, it's been over 20 years.
Okay, so Lucia, right? That's her name. Yeah, and from what we know, she's part of this criminal duo working with some guy, but we still don't know his name.
I know. And that trailer, seeing her as a prisoner, then breaking out with her partner.
Talk about a cliffhanger.
It makes you want to know their whole backstory. Like, how did they end up there?
Right. Like, what's their deal? But even before the trailer, GTA VI was already this massive mystery.
Oh, yeah. I remember all the rumors and speculation. Project Americas, they called it.
Yeah, and all those whispers about a female protagonist.
And then finally, in February of 2022, Rockstar confirmed it.
That was a big day for GTA fans.
The internet went nuts.
Yeah,
I mean, people have been waiting years for any kind of official word.
And when Rockstar finally said development was well underway, it felt like a dream come true.
But then just a few months later, boom, the leak.
September 2022, one of the biggest leaks the gaming world has ever seen.
90 videos,
Yeah.
50 minutes of unfinished footage just dumped online.
It was chaos.
It was like someone just threw open the doors to Rockstar's development studio and said, come on in, take a look around.
I mean, we saw early animations, level layouts, even snippets of dialogue.
It was wild.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what that must have been like for the developers.
It was a PR nightmare for Rockstar. They had to scramble to do damage control.
And, they ramped up their security big time after that.
But amidst all that chaos, something interesting happened. Other game developers started showing their own early footage.
Really?
Yeah, like in solidarity with Rockstar.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, it was like a we've all been there kind of moment.
Showing that, hey, games look rough in the early stages.
And reminding everyone that what they saw in the leak wasn't the final product.
It was a good reminder that game development is a process. It's not all polished and perfect from day one.
Totally. It humanized the whole thing.
So, okay, fast forward to December 2023, the official reveal.
The trailer drops and it breaks records like instantly.
It even boosted the streams for that Tom Petty song, Love is a Long Road.
The hype was real.
People were losing their minds. And the trailer itself was so well done, just enough to get you excited without spoiling anything.
Rockstar knows how to build anticipation, that's for sure.
But then things seemed to quiet down again.
So what's the latest on the development side of things? Have there been any updates?
Well, there have been rumors of delays.
Ah, the dreaded delays.
Especially after Rockstar made everyone go back to the office.
That return to office mandate thing?
Yeah, it seems like that might have thrown a wrench into things.
But officially, the release window is still Q3, Q4 2025.
We'll see if they can stick to that.
GTA delays are practically a tradition at this point.
But no matter when it comes out, this whole September 2022 leak was a pivotal moment for GTA 7.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It raises so many questions like, who was behind it? How did it even happen?
It's like a whole other story within the GTA 6 saga.
So the alleged hacker was this 17-year-old kid.
17? Seriously?
Yeah, apparently he was part of this hacking group called Lapsusat.
I've heard of them. They've hit some pretty big companies.
Yeah, Microsoft and NVIDIA, they're not messing around.
But to go after Rockstar like that, that's a whole other level.
I guess for them it was just another target, but for Rockstar the consequences were massive.
I read they spent something like US $5 million on recovery.
And that's not even counting the lost time and the hit to their reputation.
That's insane. It makes you wonder just how secure any company can be in this day and age.
If Rockstar can get hacked, anyone can.
It's a scary thought. But you know what I find interesting about this whole leak situation?
What's that?
It shows how much we love getting a peek behind the curtain.
Especially when it comes to game development.
People are fascinated by that process. They want to see how the sausage is made.
And those leaked assets, Those rough animations and unfinished levels, it's like getting a glimpse into the creative process.
And it sparks these conversations about what goes into making a game as huge and complex as GTA.
It's like we become part of the development team, even if it's just for a moment.
Okay, so we've got the setting a taste of the characters, the years of anticipation, the bombshell leak, and the record-breaking reveal.
It's been a wild ride, and we haven't even gotten to the gameplay yet.
Exactly. That's for next time.
Can't wait.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Buckle up, folks. It's going to be a wild ride.
I'm ready for it. You know, it's kind of crazy to think GTA VI is coming out just as the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X are really hitting their stride.
Oh, totally. It's like the perfect storm,
Right.
right? These consoles are powerful, and GTA VI is going to be this massive game.
It's going to be a real showcase for what these consoles can do.
I think about it, vast open worlds, complex characters, insane graphics.
And gameplay that really pushes the limit.
Yeah, these new consoles are on a whole other level compared to the last generation.
They're not just faster, they're fundamentally different. Like, take ray tracing, for example.
Ray tracing.
Yeah, it's this technology that simulates how light behaves in the real world.
So, like, more realistic lighting effects.
Exactly. Like in GTA VI, you could see realistic reflections in puddles or light filtering through trees.
Even the way neon signs glow.
Yeah, it's all about making the world feel more immersive, more alive.
And don't forget about the physics engines. Those are getting a major upgrade, too.
Oh yeah, with the power of these new consoles, car crashes, explosions, even just walking around, it's all going to feel way more dynamic.
More visceral, you mean?
Exactly. Like you're really there in the moment.
Okay, so we've got better graphics, more realistic physics, but what about the gameplay? What new stuff are they bringing to the table?
That's the million-dollar question, right? GTA has always been about open-ended gameplay, giving you choices and freedom.
I've heard rumors about a more sophisticated wanted system.
Like the cops are actually smart this time.
Yeah, like imagine if they used strategy set up roadblocks, maybe even called in air support if things got really crazy.
That would make those high-speed chases way more intense.
And what about the multiplayer? GTA Online was huge, so they
Yeah,
have to have something big planned for GTA VI's online mode, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Maybe larger-scale co-op missions, heists that require a whole crew.
Or imagine competitive modes that take advantage of that giant open-world races, capture the flag, maybe even a battle royale set in Vice City.
The possibilities are endless. But, you know, we can't forget about the single-player campaign either.
That's the heart of the GTA experience.
Exactly. And they've set a high bar with GTA V and those multiple protagonists.
So having two protagonists in GTA VI, especially with Lucia being the first female protagonist in forever, opens up all kinds of storytelling possibilities.
Imagine their perspectives clashing or if they have to work together despite their differences.
Kind of like a modern-day Bonnie and Clyde, but with that GTA twist.
And think about the setting. Vice City is already iconic, right? All that 80s nostalgia.
But they're updating it for the 2020s, so it's going to be this weird mix of retro vibes and modern satire.
I bet they're going to have a field day satirizing social media and influencer culture.
Oh, totally. I can already picture it.
And they'll find ways to contrast that glitz and glamour of Vice City with the grittier criminal underworld that GTA is known for.
It's going to be fascinating to see how they use the setting to comment on modern issues, you know?
Oh, yeah. Wealth inequality, social media addiction, the obsession with fame.
GTA has always been about holding a mirror up to society.
And I think GTA VI will be no different. It's going to be thought-provoking, entertaining, and probably a little controversial, too.
That's what makes it GTA.
Yeah.
It's not afraid to push boundaries and make us think.
But enough speculation from us for now.
Yeah, what about you out there listening? What aspects of GTA VI have caught your attention? What are you most excited about?
I'm personally really intrigued by the potential for some deep character development. With two protagonists, there's more room to explore their backstories, their motivations, their relationships.
We saw a little bit of Lucia's past in the trailer, her time in prison, that fire in her eyes.
But what events led her to that point? What skills does she bring to the table? What connections does she have?
And her partner, he's still a total mystery.
We know they have this shared history of crime, but how will their partnership evolve under pressure? Will their loyalty hold up?
It's going to be interesting to see how their personalities clash or complement each other.
And then there's the whole social commentary angle. GTA has always been brilliant at satire.
And setting it in the 2020s in Florida. Talk about a goldmine of material.
Oh, yeah. Social media influencers, the obsession with wealth and status, political polarization.
And don't forget about all those crazy Florida man headlines. I can only imagine what kind of over-the-top scenarios and wacky characters we'll see.
It's going to be hilarious and thought-provoking at the same time.
But what about the open world itself? Will it be as massive and detailed as GTA V?
From what we've seen so far, it looks like they're going for a similar level of detail and scope, but maybe with more verticality.
You're right. We saw glimpses of skyscrapers in the trailer in those multi-level environments.
It's like the city itself is a playground and not just at street level.
Imagine the possibilities for aerial combat or chase sequences with those towering buildings as a backdrop.
Or parkour across rooftops, base, jumping from crazy heights.
The potential for action is off the charts. But I also hope they don't skimp on those smaller details, the things that make the world feel alive.
Like all those quirky side activities and unexpected encounters.
Exactly. The things that make it feel like a real place, not just a video game.
A playground for our virtual desires, you might say.
Well, maybe not for everyone, but for those of us who enjoy a bit of mayhem, GTA 6 is shaping up to be an unforgettable experience.
It's going to be a game that people talk about for years to come.
But let's shift gears for a bit. Instead of focusing on what we expect, I'm curious about what you personally are looking forward to in GTA VI. What are the things that really resonate with you?
That's a great question. For me, one of the things that keeps me coming back to GTA is that sense of place. It's not just the graphics or the sound, it's that feeling of being transported to another world.
A world that feels both familiar and strange, exciting and dangerous.
It's about walking down the streets of Liberty City or cruising down Ocean Drive in Vice City and feeling like you're actually there.
And it's all about those little details, right? The sights, the sounds, the atmosphere.
Exactly. And with GTA 6 being set in a modern-day Vice City, that feeling of being transported is going to be even more intense.
I can already picture it. The neon lights reflecting off the streets, the music pumping out of clubs, the crowds of people and shady characters lurking in the shadows.
It's going to be a truly immersive experience.
And it's not just about the city either. It's about those surrounding areas, the beaches, the swamps, the rural towns that make up the wider world.
I loved exploring those areas in previous GTA games, uncovering secrets, getting into trouble.
That sense of freedom, of being able to go anywhere and do anything, it's what makes GTA so unique.
And I think with GTA's Eye, that sense of freedom will be even greater.
I can't wait to get lost in that world, to create my own stories and see what happens.
It's going to be an adventure. But you know what else I love about GTA? The way it blends all these different genres and gameplay elements.
It's not just an action game or a racing game or a role-playing game. It's all of them rolled into one.
It's a game that lets you be whoever you want to be. A ruthless criminal, a high-rolling tycoon, a stunt driver. It's about choosing your own path and having fun.
And with GTA VI, I think we're going to see even more opportunities for player expression and customization.
Maybe we'll get to design our own characters, build our own empires, even create our own missions.
The possibilities are exciting. But before we get too carried away with all the hype, let's take a moment to appreciate the legacy of GTA.
This series has been going strong for over 2 decades.
And it's constantly evolving, pushing boundaries, challenging conventions.
From the top-down view of the original Grand Theft Auto to the sprawling open worlds of GTA V, it's been quite a journey.
Each game has brought something new to the table.
GTA 3 blew everyone away with its 3D graphics and cinematic storytelling.
Vice City transported us to that neon-drenched world of the 80s.
San Andreas expanded the scope and ambition with its massive map and multiple protagonists.
And GTA V took everything to the next level with its incredible graphics and that massive online multiplayer experience.
Each game has left its mark on the industry, and GTA Xi is poised to do the same.
It's a game that honors its past, but isn't afraid to embrace the future.
It's going to be controversial, it's going to be thought-provoking, and most importantly, it's going to be fun.
I'm excited to see what they do with it. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think the long-term impact of GTA Xi will be on the gaming industry as a whole?
That's a great question to think about, but for now, let's just savor the anticipation and excitement for what's to come.
It's kind of wild to think about, the legacy GTA Xi is going to have.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, we've been talking about all the stuff it could be.
The hype is real.
But it makes you wonder, what will people remember about it in 5 years, 10 years?
Right, like what will be its defining feature?
Exactly, because think about the other GTA games,
They all have their own thing.
Yeah, like GTA 3 brought the 3D world to the series.
Vice City had that 80s vibe nailed down.
San Andreas went huge with the map and multiple protagonists.
And GTA V kind of perfected that whole multiple protagonist thing.
So where does that leave GTA V? How does it stand out from all those classics?
I think for GTA VE to really make a statement, it needs to be bold.
Bold how?
Not just in terms of graphics or gameplay, but bold in its storytelling, in its characters, in its willingness to tackle some real-world issues head-on.
You mean like having a female protagonist and exploring the whole social media thing?
Exactly. Those are moves that could totally change how people see the GTA franchise.
So it's not just about making a game, it's about making a statement.
Right. It's like Rockstar is saying, hey, GTA has grown up.
It's not just about mindless mayhem anymore. It's about reflecting our world.
Exactly. And that kind of boldness could have a ripple effect on the whole industry.
Like other developers might be inspired to make games that are not only fun, but also make you think.
Maybe even push the boundaries of what a video game can be.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. But there's something else I wanted to touch on. Yeah. You mentioned earlier how GTA VI could bridge the gap between different generations of gamers.
Ah, yeah. Those who grew up with the classics and those who are just discovering the series now.
It's like this unique opportunity to bring those groups together.
Totally. Because on one hand, you have Vice City, which is pure nostalgia for older players.
But then you're also bringing in all this new stuff. Social media influencer culture. All those anxieties that define our modern world.
It's this blend of the familiar and the unknown, the past and the present.
And I bet that mix could lead to some really interesting conversations.
Not just about gaming, but about society as a whole, about where we've been and where we're going.
It's like GTA VI could be this cultural time capsule, capturing this specific moment in time.
You know, I think you're onto something. Games have always had this power to reflect our world.
And GTA in particular has never been shy about holding up a mirror to society.
With all its satire and over-the-top humor, GTA makes us question what's real and what's fake, what's a joke and what's a reflection of our own lives.
So it's not just entertainment, it's social commentary.
It's a way of making sense of the world around us.
I like that. Okay, so we've covered legacy boldness, the generational thing, the cultural impact.
I think we've pretty much dissected GTA VI from every angle.
I think so.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's one thing we haven't talked about yet that I think is really important.
Oh, and what's that?
It's the freedom that GTA offers, you know?
Oh, yes, freedom. That's a big one.
It's always been about giving players the freedom to explore, to experiment, to break the rules, to create their own chaos.
It's like a giant sandbox where you can do whatever you want.
And in a world where we're constantly bombarded with rules and restrictions, that kind of freedom is really appealing.
It's an escape. It's a way to tap into our inner rebel.
And I think that's a big part of why GTA has resonated with so many people for so long.
It allows us to reclaim that sense of agency that we might be missing in our everyday lives.
It's not just about the graphics or the gameplay. It's about that feeling you get when you're playing GTA.
The feeling of empowerment, the feeling of being in control.
It's like anything is possible.
Exactly. And that's a powerful feeling.
So we've talked about all this high-level stuff, legacy, boldness, social commentary.
But at its core, GTA is about something very simple and very human.
It's about the freedom to be yourself, to express yourself, to create your own fun.
And I think that's a message that will always resonate with people, no matter what the future holds.
Well said. I think we've officially cracked the code of GTA.
Maybe, but like any good deep dive, I think we've also raised more questions than answers.
That's okay, though. That's the whole point, right?
It's about getting people to think, to explore, to draw their own conclusions.
So there you have it, folks. Our deep dive into the world of GTA 6.
It's a game that's shaping up to be much more than just a game.
It's a cultural phenomenon, a conversation starter, a mirror to our world, and maybe even a glimpse into the future.
And with that, we'll leave you to ponder those thoughts.
Until next time, keep those controllers charged and those minds open.
The world of GTA VI awaits.